What's up, good people? Today is Thursday, March the 5th, 2026. And I just want to come on here and talk to you guys. I've noticed my last couple of videos or so, I hadn't gotten any views. So I'm not sure whether or not my videos are being blocked somehow. And people are not able to see them, or people aren't just looking at them. I don't know. It's one or the other. Just because I do talk about a lot of controversial things, and so it's a possibility they may be blocking my channel, even though I don't have many subscribers. But yeah, I want to talk to you guys though in reference to what just recently happened. In which, if you aren't keeping up with the news, in which I'm pretty sure you are, Israel and the United States decided to bomb Iran. In which, if you guys have been looking at my videos, and if you look at them completely through, you will see that on, or hear or see on several occasions, that I mentioned the fact that Donald Trump was going to end up bombing Iran, and that, long story short, the United States is going to end up in a war with Iran. But one of the things that I don't hear being talked about is the fact that Iran, it's been a few years ago now, but I like to call it recent because it's been within the past 10 years that Iran and China signed an agreement with one another. And that agreement had a lot of different areas that were being covered that Iran and China were going to basically cooperate with one another in reference to. And one of those bullet points in that agreement is that the Iran and China are basically going to help one another out when it comes down to military related issues. Now, how far in depth that goes, I don't know. Because I'm not going to be able to find that full agreement, more than likely to be able to read it. But I say that because a lot of artillery that Iran is now using in retaliation to what has been done to them, they got that equipment from China. So China is already playing a role and a part in this, in the beginning of this war. And I'm saying China is playing a part in it because I said this even when he was first elected president, that Donald J. Trump was going to be the cause of the next world war, in which we all are aware that the next world war is going to be a nuclear war. So he's going to be the cause of that nuclear war that we've always heard about that hasn't happened just yet. And I say he's going to be the reason for that because, once again, he has no sense of understanding. And when you have a sense of understanding, that means that you are willing to give up certain things that you might have felt extremely serious about, in order to come to an agreement with someone else. And he's not that type of person. It's either everything that he wants or it's nothing at all. And so as a leader, whether you would call yourself a king, a president, a czar, whatever you are, you have to have a level of compromise. And for the ones that say that he does have a level of compromise, his compromise is with the wrong people, though. He's compromising with people that can't help us out when it comes down to the finances in this country. Because they have limited resources in their country. See, he's making agreements and deals with a lot of countries that the only resources that they can truly provide to the United States is possibly oil and money. That's it. Because a lot of their resources are coming from external sources. But like I said, this may have been talked about or spoken about. But if you look at it and look into it in depth, the countries that he's causing problems with, in which now he's backtracked, because we know that for the past so many months that he and England have not been on good terms. And I don't think that they are on good terms at this point either. Just reason being is that the king over there, he is aware of Donald Trump's part in the whole Epstein case. And it's enough to push the king away from Donald Trump and for the king not to want to have anything to do with Donald Trump, because he knows the type of person that he is. So when I tell you that the walls are coming down, and they're coming down quickly, they're coming down so fast that it's almost hard for people to gather their senses in order to realize what's actually going on around them. All of a sudden, we hadn't heard anything else about the ICE killings that went on up in Minnesota. What are they going to do about that? We hadn't heard anything else about that. All of that has went silent after it was so much fuss and noise being made about what was going on in Minnesota. Now all of a sudden, as if it's not ever happened, they're not talking about these things. And they're creating problem on top of problem in order to try and pull the people's attention away from one problem. They create another problem. If you haven't noticed, this is what this regime in the White House is doing. They are literally creating problems, and then in order to try and pull your attention away from it, he goes and creates another problem. And we've seen it. We've seen it over and over again. Because when you come in with such negative, chaotic energy like he did, they come in cutting jobs left and right. I mean, they just came in just like that guy who is also in the Epstein files. He comes out with the chainsaw, and they meant that. They literally came in and cut off so many people from their jobs and from their incomes. And so we as people, we should not have expected anything positive to come from Donald J. Trump. Because when you come into any place with negative energy, all that you create around you, in most cases, is negative and chaos and chaotic. And this is what we see happening right before our eyes, y'all. And all we have to do is keep your faith in whatever you believe in. And I'm going to tell you who you should believe in, which is Jesus and which is God. But that's my choice. It's on you who you believe in. And I say that because China is that other sleeping giant. Because I mentioned I don't want to say over and over again, but at least twice in different recordings that Iran was basically just kind of resting right now. And that the time wasn't right in order for that attack to occur in retaliation to what Donald Trump in the United States did as far as bombing that nuclear facility over there. But then with Israel initiating or so-called initiating the attack, that gave Israel every excuse to do whatever they wanted to do or they had the capabilities of doing in order to protect their country and to try to defeat their enemies. But I said it, y'all. I said it was coming. And, you know, we all as people, we can't say exactly how something's going to happen in most cases. But I said that was going to happen. And now what we have to be on the watch for is what China is doing. Now we have to worry about what China is doing. Because if you are keeping up with everything, Iran just isn't bombing Israel. Iran has dropped bombs in Qatar, which that's that place where Donald Trump got that multi-million-dollar jet from and went over there and signed that amazing deal with, was over in Qatar, and several other places over in the Middle East are being bombed as well. And so for Iran to have enough heart to bomb not just Israel, but other countries means that Iran is confident in their capabilities of defending themselves and possibly destroying others. Because if you listen to what Donald Trump and everybody else has been saying, well, they don't have any nuclear weapons. Everything for that nuclear capabilities were destroyed. Now, all of a sudden, Iran was a couple of weeks away from having nuclear weapons. But we were told X amount of months ago that Iran's nuclear capabilities were completely destroyed. And I said it, y'all, on my recordings that was not factual, and that they were lying in order to continue to try and convince all of the people that voted for them that he is the guy for the job. And he's proven time and time again that he truly isn't a good leader. Because I can't say that he's not the guy for the job because he has the job. So for him to have the job means that he must be the guy for the job. But he's not good at his job. So y'all, I say all that to say that we need to be prepared. As far as we can't be afraid. It's something that none of us, for the most part, many of us, most of us, have not ever experienced or seen heavy artillery flying over our heads, y'all. We've not ever seen that unless you are in the military or were once in the military. But that's what we have to be preparing ourselves for. Whether or not it comes will depend on whether or not Donald Trump changes his attitude. But if Donald J. Trump doesn't change, in which he's proven time and time again that he's not the one to change, then we will end up in a war, a bigger war, because Iran has China's backing, believe it or not. And we have no true idea of who backs China, because we know that China and Russia both disagreed, in which Russia is that one country out of all of these big countries that plays both sides of the fence. Meaning that Russia is no good for anybody. They play both sides of the fence and they do a terrible job at doing it. But Russia and China both disagree with the United States and Israel deciding to bomb Iran. And most times when you have a person or people who disagree with something, it's because they know it's not in the best interest of them, of their people. And so that's why they disagreed with it, because they knew it was a bad idea. But y'all stay tuned, because we still have to live day by day. And this is something that I would not want to rush to ever happen. But like I said, if Donald Trump doesn't change the way that he thinks and the way that he is, and he continues to say one thing and do another, then we are only truly in the beginning of something that's going to be major, or in Donald Trump's terms, epic. But y'all stay cool out there. Y'all keep your faith. So I can say through everything, I keep my faith in God no matter what. I believe and I keep my faith in Jesus through it all. But y'all stay strong out there. And I'll talk to you soon.